Good morning and wait. Good morning and welcome to the New Media Show. My name is Todd Cochran. I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Rob Greenlee. Good morning, Rob. We are off to a late start.
Yes, we are. And it's been a few weeks, but that's life.
Yeah, it has. And I got back from the West Coast. As a matter of fact, I got a little story to tell about that. But I got back last night about 8. My wife is like, "By the way, my Chris's soccer team's party is going on right now, and we're going there before we go home." So I got in here about 10 last night, and then just got stuff unloaded and turned around and went to bed and set the alarm, and the alarm was set, but it never rang. I have no idea. I'm gonna my old
That
faithful
happens.
did not faithful. Anyway, good morning,
Yeah.
welcome.
Good morning. It's great to be back doing the show again,
Yeah, I agree.
talking about the space.
Yeah, and just feels like it's been forever. And I apologize with all my travel and stuff. Probably next week we'll end up doing a Sunday show too, because I'm flying out Friday night again. But I'm going out.
Wow.
But this time I'm headed to our office. I'm going to be in Columbus for a week. But I'll be in Michigan for a few days before I'm down there. But yeah, everything's
Okay.
good. Just too much moving. You're getting ready to go on some travel too, yeah?
Yeah, the speaker team is going to meet up at the end of November, so it shouldn't have an impact anytime too soon.
And we're going to do our thing in February, right between Podcast Movement and not Podcast Movement, Podfest and Proclaim. So, but yeah, it's just a little nuts here, but that's life. Um, anyway, wow, it's stuff in space is moving even without us. Imagine that.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's definitely a much bigger space now. A lot of people are involved in it, and it seems to be evolving. And there's some news on some stuff that happened this past week, and it's all good stuff, I think.
Yeah, a little bit on the social side. I didn't wasn't aware of this thing, This American Life, rolled out until you told me this morning. So why don't you
hmm
talk a little bit about this new thing they call Shortcut?
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of hybrid between a transcript and kind of what we've seen with Clamor
Mm-hmm.
of trying to take out clips from audio and share them. So, I mean, at a high level, that's exactly what they're trying to do. This technology is only being applied to This American Life right now. Um, but I think that there's something here that maybe it has some potential. The challenge is the transcription side, not so much the clipping and sharing of the audio side. That's a pretty much a pretty simple technology. Um, but it's the whole aspect of making sure that the transcriptions are accurate and being able to highlight those transcriptions and have it map specifically and directly to areas in a waveform on
Right.
a web page. And then if you can do that, then you can share it. And there's something there's a little bit of opportunity there. I don't know how much. I think it's yet to be seen.
Well, let's take a look at it. So if you load their page up, and then it says, okay, go to shortcutthisamericanlife.com,
Yep.
and let's take an episode 597, and you load. Okay, it's actually we're waiting for the episode to load. Wow. Okay, so then you've got. Oh, this is weird. So okay, so is this the? So you have to scroll through the.
Yeah, the whole episode to find that piece that you might want to share.
All right, so I'm gonna I'll just grab a piece.
Yeah, and so if you're, not able to see this, what's up on the screen is basically a kind of like a two-sided um, kind of a website that has a visual image on the right, like a square graphic art that you can change color in, and then on the left is basically a list of transcription from that episode that actually alternates between the host and the guest, or other people talking in the episode, and it's breaks it out pretty succinctly and pretty cleanly. And I guess that's the question mark is can can that be done at scale and be accurate?
So then, so
go ahead, Todd.
you highlight it and you click next, making your video. So they're making a video file versus an audio file. And I selected maybe 15 seconds. And then it pops
up. I think
up.
what they're making is a visual representation of the episode.
So then I've got the I can write a caption, and then this is clunky. It takes too long. This is just like, this is the challenge the Clamor folks have, is that there's multiple steps. And, while it's probably good, I just wonder how much use they're going to get out of this.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of computing power to index this stuff as well as transcribe it and then map it to the audio.
I would bet that they're having professional transcription done, because automatic transcription would not be
it's
good.
Difficult.
No,
it's difficult
because they've got host changes. They have
I mean, and how does the computer know who's speaking?
Right. So this is all professional transcription being done, and you have to go and look through the massive amount of
audio and put in markers, I would think.
Yeah, and find this stuff. So, yeah, it's cool, but I think they're gonna. It's definitely, the little bar here. It's very odd. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. How this ends up working out for them. But I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to share social clips.
Yeah, and they're also trying to provide a visual component to it too. That actually is almost like a I don't know, a textual description as the audio plays. So it actually plays the audio at the same time that it shows the words in a square graphic.
So, but it's going to be on a, this is going to be, good for a
hearing impaired person
or someone on a desktop. This is going to be, I don't know how you're going to do this in mobile. They're promoting mobile in the discussion, but, from the time I click on the episode to the time it loads, 1, 2, 3.
Well, it's not intended to be long form content. It's 6. Only intended to be clips.
Well, I know, but I'm saying it takes 6 seconds for the page to load, let alone.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just a start. No, actually, it just finished, so maybe about 8 seconds to load. And then...
Yeah, and you've got a fast connection there, so that must be server load.
And if you're doing this on a mobile device, then you have to scroll through and find the section that they're talking about. Because, most people are not listening to podcasts on browsers anymore. So...
Yeah, mobile browsers maybe.
Right. So if they have a way in their podcast app to mark in, mark out, that's one thing. But this to me is just a, it's. I understand what they're trying to do, but
yeah, and I think it's probably a good direction to go. It's just whether or not all the pieces perform and are cost effective to get done, and how accurate they are. I think is the big question. I mean, it does. Yeah, I went to go look at the page on the site for the Shortcut Beta about who developed this and kind of how it got developed, and it says that the shortcut was developed with open source libraries. So they're tapping into existing technology that's open source out there and pulling it together. So it's bound to have some some weaknesses because open source technology isn't always compatible with each other,
Right.
and isn't always optimized for performance, because it's difficult to do that in a shared development environment like open source is. Um, so it'll probably work, but it's probably not going to perform that great, is my guess. And what's the cost of having
Yeah.
professional transcription services running on every episode?
Well, it's expensive. You do an
Yeah,
hour, and if you're having professional transcription service done, it's like, and that's probably $100 minimum. The way they did
yeah,
their transcripts, it's long. So, and it's a separate click. You have to go to shortcut.thisamericanlife.org. So if a fan wants to share, they're definitely a super fan.
well, I was thinking about it. I mean, there probably is a way to automate this. It's just it's going to take a pretty advanced piece of software to be able to know the sound of your voice, right?
Yeah.
To map your each of our voices,
Yep.
and be able to describe that. So the
Mm-hmm.
computer would need to know the specific wave type of form that our voice makes, and to be able to recognize when I start talking, then it knows it's me, and then when you start talking, it knows it's you,
Mm-hmm.
and to be able to map that dynamically. And I don't know that there's any software that actually maps to, well, I guess Siri and Cortana get trained on certain voices.
Do
Um,
is This American Life still recorded live? I don't even know because I don't listen to the show. Do they still do this on the radio before they?
I really couldn't answer that. I don't. I'm assuming that it's been being done live, but I know that they do an awful lot of transitions and clips and stuff like that. So I would really be curious if that would be practical to be done on a live
I,
basis.
I'm pretty. If it isn't, I thought don't they do like some sort of panel or something? Don't they? I thought I don't know. I thought that This American Life was done live, but if they're doing this is a huge amount of post production. So this works for interview
Big shows.
shows and that kind of stuff. But if you're doing, something with time sensitive, it's very hard to get something turned around. You're talking a couple of days to get something turned around.
Yeah. Well, and cost.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the show is available on 500 stations across the country,
So it is
public
live.
stations. I don't know that it
Oh.
doesn't have to be live.
Oh, so it's just
It can be pre-recorded.
pre-recorded. So if it's pre-recorded, it's already pre-produced, and then
Yeah.
So again, This American Life has how many people on staff? A huge
Yeah.
number of people on staff, right?
Yeah. I don't know how many. Okay, I'm on their site now, and it does talk about the staff that they have.
Yeah.
And it looks like they have, well, Ira, obviously, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, I don't really need to go to the bottom. But
So, wow.
yeah. They probably, I mean, it looks like maybe 18, 20 people.
Yeah. So it's a lot of production, and this works out. I think it's a good idea, but in order to make this mass and scale to, the masses, the clamors just came as close as you really can without having transcription.
Yeah. Though Clamor has its limitations too. I mean, it's not an easy tool to use. It takes a lot of dedication to get it done with that platform, and I think it's beyond what most people are willing to invest in sharing something.
Yeah.
Where what we're seeing here with This American Life, it looks like it's easier and more visual.
Yep.
Which would be appealing if it could actually be accomplished on a dynamic basis and not require so much post production and transcription.
It's pretty cool. In all honesty, the actual implementation of this is, if you think, well, I'm thinking about this for a second. The setting the markers, extracting a video file, that's all actually real easy from a programming code standpoint.
Sure.
And
well, there's very specific transitions that happen between audio and WAV files.
Oh, I know, but I'm
it's
saying
just getting the computer to recognize them.
But I'm just saying that. But of course, this transcription has to match the audio too. So there has to be a. If you're reading this guy's name is Charles Foster, and you highlight that, you need to know that's where the magic sauce in this thing is they need to know exactly where the lines up in this audio file.
Yep.
Now so they're mapping. Oh, it's going to be curious how they've done.
Yeah, and I would think it's that another piece of the challenge is crosstalk, which happens a lot in conversations.
Yeah. Of course, they heavily edit, so you don't hear a lot of crosstalk on these shows.
I suppose. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But a show like what we do, there is a certain amount of crosstalk, especially at the beginning of any transition between us.
True.
It does happen. So the computer would have to be able to distinguish those two things.
Well, whoever's behind this, if it's a company that's built it for them, I think what we'll end up having, and is this tal.fm? Where does that go? tal.fm. Because this is the link that it is associated with. Oh, and tal.fm is thisamericanlife.fm. So wherever, there's definitely some tech behind this. The matching of the transcription to the actual audio, that's the hard part.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us on the live stream, we're talking about the thisamericanlife.org new shortcut tool that they've just announced this past week. So it appears to be a great idea. Maybe some more resources needs to be applied to the concept of this, and I don't know if this is a patented solution on their part or if they're just making it available because it was based on open source tools. So I would imagine it's kind of hard for them to patent open source tools.
Shortcut .thisamericanlife.org is the page. So
it's probably worth going and checking out. And if any of the platforms, like Todd and I's platforms, want to tackle this issue, it's something that I've wanted to tackle, something similar to this for quite a while. And I know, Todd, you've been thinking about it a lot, and I know you've been working with Clamor to some degree, right?
Yeah. Well, we made it so that the Clamor player can be used by the PowerPress users, and they basically enabled it. But we've been working on our own social solution for a while now, and we've got basically some social sharing stuff that's coming very, very quickly that doesn't do this. But I think my whole philosophy on social is people are busy. So you have to be able to have, if you're going to do social sharing, it has to be easy, fast and easy. It's like click on something, be able to add a comment and hit send. That's what people have time for.
Yeah, that's true.
So the social stuff that we're doing, the social sharing tools that we're going to be adding to PowerPress, which I'm very excited about. Again, it's going to be about the ease, not only the podcaster, but also the listener being able to share stuff easily. And I think most of the times too, when it comes to socials, podcasters are more worried about their ability to share and distribute. The audience being able to share and stuff is kind of an additional glad to have it when they do it. So I give kudos to This American Life for putting this together. We'll see if some company comes out and says, "Hey, we've got this service available as a paid service," and then we'll see what it costs. But it's
well, it should be. I mean, ideally, it should be built into like platforms like Blueberry and Libsyn and Spreaker and all of the hosting platforms. It'd be great if we could offer that or something similar to it to our podcasters.
So it was conceived at This American Life's Audio Hackathon 2015.
Yeah.
And it talks about the Shortcut team: Stephanie Fu, Courtney Stanton, Darius Kazemi, Jason Segal, and then some UI editor developers. So there was like 6 or 7 developers that were on this, and then and they actually list the open source tools that they used.
Yep.
They used the Siri Wave JavaScript from MIT. I'm familiar with some of these tools. So,
and they're all open source.
Yeah.
So I think what they've done here could be an open source project. I mean, it is an open source project, but maybe Tal would be interested in sharing what they've done with the bigger community here. I don't know.
It says Shortcut was developed with open source libraries. Doesn't say that they're going to share this project.
No. I'm just saying we could ask.
Yeah, we'll see. We look forward to contributing to the open source and audio communities. Let us know if you'd like to follow or help support the open source roadmap. So maybe they're going to make this open source. Maybe. Well, we'll see.
I think it would be smart because if they were to do that, then maybe a lot more people would put some brain power behind this.
Yeah, and I just don't see anything in here. I'm going to have to look at these open source projects and see what they do, but I don't think any of these are actually transcription.
So that leads you to believe what you were originally thinking, is that this is all hand transcribed.
Maybe it might. Who knows? I'm going to have to go look at the projects and see what they do.
I know it does. Yeah, I mean, does Siri Wave?
It just creates a wave. It's a waveform generator. Yeah,
that's all it is.
And FFmpeg is that's an open. Yeah, it's an encoder. It'll create the video file that they're creating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna have to go through and look at these open source projects and see what they do, and then. But good on them. Nice. I hope they get a lot of usage out of it. I hope but training people to use a tool like this, that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
Let's see what else have they got on their page. Or they just got something that says connect. What is connect? Oh, connect via Twitter or Facebook. I got you.
Well, it's good to see that there's some innovation happening like this.
Yep.
I think these are the types of things that can help push the industry forward.
And it's nice to see that they, if they keep it to themselves, well, then that's that, and other people will have to come in and build the code. But,
that's probably more likely, but we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, want to say hello to Jamie, to Jason, to Mike, to Dante. Want to say hello to Paul, all on the live stream. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, on a Sunday, no less.
That's right, and very late and not our normal day.
Yeah, absolutely. So other than that, there hasn't been a lot of news that's been in this space. It's been kind of quiet. I've just been head down with other stuff this past week, so I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop a little bit. But my team's been, cranking away. We got a whole bunch of stuff on Edge. I know that you guys came up with a new player. Why don't you talk about your new player?
Oh, it's just a much more visual, player embed for your website. So that's a big thing. It's just, I think it brings us up to, parity with some of the other leading kind of audio players that are on the market. So that was the idea behind it, was just to make it very visual. You can put in a large graphic behind the player and have it in various sizes. So it's similar to what SoundCloud's been doing. But we're trying to kind of get that as a baseline, and then we're trying to move beyond. So, people are still using these type of players on, web pages, and are listening to audio in their mobile browsers. So this player is very compatible with mobile browsers, and can be used in a very visual way. And that was the goal of it. So if you want to go check it out, just go over to Spreaker and
Is that it right there? I've got it up on the
nope.
screen.
If you click on the far right there, Todd, it says embed, and I'm not sure that it's.
Oh, there's a preview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it there. So you can see it's, it's.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got a visual image behind it.
Hey, I see something here. Okay.
You do?
Yes. Play automatically. Why did you guys give him the option to do that?
Well,
Naughty, Rob. That should not be included.
It's all about choice, Todd.
It's all about choice. It's all about we're not big fans of automatic playing and podcasting. Come on now.
I know. I agree with you 100%. But if somebody wants to do it, it's up to them.
Oh, no. You just don't give them the option.
Oh, Todd.
No, you don't do that. So have you got any feedback on that?
No, actually not at all.
Well, consider you've gotten feedback.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I don't believe in auto playback myself, so it's never been an issue because I always have that check no.
Yeah. Well, it's good. So that's nice. The team you got that you can share that. That's cool. Or put it on another site as well easily.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a little runny nose this morning. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep the mic away when I'm sniffing on people here.
Well, I did notice that there's been just a constant barrage of ill, uninformed articles being written about the podcasting space. That whole thing continues to happen, and they're all they always talk about the same things.
Do you have an example?
Yeah, well, pick from them. And then the other article that came out too is about Acast offering access to a music library for all of their creators. I see in the news that's something that Spreaker launched about a month and a half ago. So we have the same audio catalog.
Oh, did you? And I bet you I know who you. Yeah, I think I know who you guys.
The Epidemic Sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that they've been contacting everybody in the space.
Yeah. That's funny. But music and podcast, if done incorrectly, can really be an annoyance.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I did a whole episode of the Spreaker Live show on that topic.
Little intro music, maybe very, 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 very short.
Yeah.
And it's
or like this show, no intro music.
Right. And if you're going to have a little outro music, again, very, very little. But if everyone's pulling from the same library, you're going to start hearing the same audio clips.
Yeah, there's like 30,000 clips, so
not
there's
bad.
a lot to choose from. So and then each of those clips has a lot of variability in the music too. So, I mean, most people, like you say, will just clip out 10 or 15 seconds or something like that,
right,
and use it. And it can be from a variety of different places in that waveform.
It just in 10 or 15 seconds of that is good, but I tried audio before, and it just my audience never I got more negative feedback than I got positive feedback, and never play music in the background. Don't ever do that. That's just like
if you do, don't do it for very long. Just do it at the very very beginning of your show. If you want to play a little bit of the music at the beginning, and then just fade it out.
Yeah.
But fade it out within maybe up to 30 seconds or something like that. Don't go too much further than that.
When you're speaking over it during the introduction, yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard people actually leave music playing during their show. You know,
during the whole show. Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? The radio stations don't do that.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I mean, I agree with you. That's something that some shows do, and in some ways it doesn't really make any sense.
Right.
It's just noise for the listener.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's and if you have a music show, then you're going to be playing your own music anyway. But
yeah,
well, anyway, you've got some licensed stuff there that they can use that they don't have to worry about the RIAA come kicking their door in on. So
yeah. And a lot of people aren't that excited about it because it's not the big popular major label music.
right. And I'm still hearing a lot of shows using big popular major label music too. I hear that all the time on shows. I'm
Yeah,
sampling. It's
yeah,
amazing how many people are sticking their neck out so far.
yeah. And there's a lot more of those licensing agencies listening to podcasts these days.
Oh, they know who they are. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, the RIAA has already said that. Yeah, we know who's playing music in podcasts. They're not stupid.
yeah,
They've got a machine that just goes out and samples. They don't have to even listen. They have something that does it automatically.
yeah,
They just map and they go and start and it listens for copyrighted music. I don't know if
yeah.
anybody's gotten a takedown notice or anything, but
Oh, I've heard from some of them at Spreaker for shows that are hosted on Spreaker. So
really,
they they are listening. Yeah.
well, that that could lead to having to write a big check. So don't do it. And I see questions in Facebook and on Google Plus from time to time, people asking about it, and everyone's gotten the word. Everyone piles on, don't do it, and
Yep.
so I think at least from a community standpoint, people are pretty much up to speed. And
Yeah, and then even back in the days when I was working on Zune, there would be a regular flow of contact from the major music labels, and for shows that we didn't even have anything to do with, they just happened to be on our platform.
right,
Um, they were inquiring how to get a hold of those content producers, or is there anything we can do to take it down, or it's just they are keeping an eye more and more because it's an area that's higher profile. It's getting more attention now, and as you and I both know, we've actually talked to representatives from all those big music labels
yep,
at a RAIN conference,
hmm,
and there is no license.
no license,
Nobody's even tried to get a license.
right. Now there is a vehicle for people that are playing covers, like Brian Ibbett from Coverville. He found a mechanism to be able to play cover songs,
Uh-huh.
and he pays about $3,000 to $5,000 a year for the pleasure of being able to do that. So it doesn't come cheap.
No, probably not.
So that there is a way if you've got a cover show, but and Brian talks about it in detail on Podcast Legends, because I tried to get him nailed down on exactly how he did that, and he went through and talked about it. So he's the only guy that I know that actually has a license.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's talked about it as well. He says a lot of people are out there just running rogue. So with podcasting becoming more popular, what will happen is when the popularity increases, so will
Scrutiny.
scrutiny and litigators.
So did you see this announced partnership between Patreon and Podomatic? I thought it was funny.
I mean, Podbean.
No, there was an announcement on October 11th between Patreon and Podomatic.
Oh, I know they had made an announcement with Podbean as well,
Oh,
so that you can put a Patreon image file on your website. So is that was the announcement?
yeah. No, yeah, exactly. I thought it was humorous. It
Yeah.
says podcasters can now link their Patreon page with their Podomatic profile.
Wow.
So does that mean that Podomatic added a form field that they could cut and paste their Patreon link into? Is that what that is?
Apparently.
That's pretty innovative. Thank you.
That definitely is that's newsworthy.
Just a reason to throw out a press release, I guess.
I when I thought I'd seen one of those announcements. I think there's been two. So and I said to the team, I'm like, am I missing something here? Is there something special going on? And everyone looked at it and were like, no. And I'm like, okay, so they can cut and paste the embed. I was just
Code into
yeah
the profile.
into the
Okay. Wow.
So, but
Todd,
it's
time. It's time to throw a press release out saying that you can now link to your Google Play Music show page on in Blueberry.
Oh my God!
All right. Oh, it does say in here that it says the independent podcasters on Patreon earn as much as $27,000 per month from their patrons. I
That's
guess.
it.
Yeah,
of all the podcasters, they make as much as 27,000.
That's the number they throw out. And then the next time below that was Tom Merritt from Daily Tech News Show has nearly 5,000 Patreons and makes over $14,000 a month.
So one of your podcasters makes half of the money that all podcasters make on Patreon.
Well, I don't know if they're saying it says thanks to Patreon, independent podcasters on Patreon earn as much as $27,000 per month. So what they're telling me,
gotcha.
Or they're telling us is that they have somebody that's earned $27,000 in a month at some point in time, but the actual example that they give here that's specific only earned 14.
Wow.
So it's kind of hard to play that one up too much. Yeah.
Well, I don't know who initiated those, but it goes back, and I actually had said something in one of the chats, like, wow, you can do, I basically laughed about this ability to put an embed on your webpage, but it goes to show, it again proves my point that that podcasters have got to pick their platform, and pick it wisely on where they're going to be, where they're potentially going to be locked into. Hey, there has been some information on feeds, though. I've been vindicated once again.
On FeedBurner? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, not only feed. Well,
that's another conversation.
There's two conversations that happened. One was the signing authority, SSL signing authority, that the folks over at SoundCloud used. It wasn't SoundCloud, but it was their SSL certificate signing authority dropped one of their root certificates by mistake.
Oops. And
it caused all SoundCloud HTTPS feeds to go invalid.
Oh, no.
And it's taken as it's still in recovery. There are shows that have about 4 days that haven't had a feed, so it's like a 4-day recovery because of the way the proliferation of the SSL certificates work and the signing authorities and the root certificates and all that stuff. So as much as 4 days, some folks' feeds have been down on SoundCloud, but it's not SoundCloud's fault. It's it's a signing authority. So once again, I get to say, if you had your own control of your own feed, you could have assigned a new root certificate to it. You could have been still affected if you'd used the same root signing authority. But the once again, these folks kind of got, and most of them don't know. Most of them have no clue that their feed has been unavailable HTTPS. So
yeah, and then a lot of them probably wouldn't even known how to even fix it,
right,
even if they had it on their own hosting too. So,
and then there was a potential hack. It didn't actually happen. It turns out that someone lost their FeedBurner feed, and so the sequence of events kind of goes like this: the guy's had a FeedBurner feed for 12 years or 10 years or a long time, and he noticed his iTunes wasn't updating. He went to his FeedBurner feed, and it went to an IBM. Well, it was FeedBurner/IBM, feedburner.com/IBM. So this is, but the guy's show is interactive marketing something. So he legitimately could use the word IBM, but an IBM didn't do a takedown. But what happened was that they had they had Google Apps, and the email address that they had used for FeedBurner was removed from their Google Apps profile, causing the email to go invalid, causing FeedBurner, and I don't know how this, if it was like, this is over a matter of a couple of weeks, I guess. FeedBurner said, oh, that account's no more valid. There's no longer an email address, therefore. We're going to, because once a feed is given back, it goes back into the pool. It's not like that feed is ever, if you had a list of all the millions of FeedBurner feeds that were, or thousands of FeedBurner feeds that were used for podcasting that are no longer, you could actually set up all those FeedBurner feeds again with those old feed links. But the long story short here, IBM assigned it to something that they had. So this guy truly lost his feed because of email snafu in FeedBurner. So he didn't get hijacked. It was just a matter of normal procedures on what FeedBurner does when it either invalid email address or something. It put that FeedBurner feed back into the pool. So we keep telling people, and everyone in the community, even Libsyn, says don't use a FeedBurner feed anymore. So, and it's just another example of how you could lose your feed and this guy's lost his audience.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because once you lose the source feed, you're really screwed. If the feed's still up, there are options. But if the feed goes down and you don't have access to it, to whoever can't do a 301 or whatever, you're really screwed. I mean, screwed hard.
There's nothing you can do. You're starting over.
Yeah, you're starting over.
Yeah. Speaking of Google, on that topic, is there any more current data that you're seeing off of your platform about usage of Google Play?
They, to my knowledge, they're not signaling yet. They're not sending stats data back.
No, I know that. But I'm just. Do you have any
nothing new? I haven't pulled any numbers.
Feedback that you've gotten from anybody about how that platform is doing?
No, not really. And the podcasters are largely ignoring it. I think the Android apps are getting more play than Google Play is.
Yeah, I have seen, at least with my own show that I do on Spreaker, the Spreaker Live show, that the Android platform is my number one consumption platform right now for that show. So, I mean,
it's what? Say that again.
Yeah, the Android platform is the number one platform that is referring listeners to my show.
Oh,
I mean, iTunes and the iPhone are like right below it, but
you said referring. I mean, referring coming to your website or subscribing?
Oh no, actually plays and downloads.
Oh, wow. Okay, so the Android platform itself, not necessarily Google Play, but the entire Android platform.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I can't single out like we were just saying, I can't single out Google Play, but I can just say that generally there's a growing amount of listeners coming out of Android.
Oh.
Definitely.
Well, I had to pull the numbers again, see where we're at. We saw there was 1 month we saw like 0.7% increase in Android. From month to month, there was almost a 0.7% of growth. And if you think about that type, that's a huge, a 0.7% growth. Now, I need to do a little bit of a 4 or 5 month timeline to look at how it's sustaining. Yeah. But because a single month there really isn't something you can develop a trend on, but it's definitely on the grow. We're seeing just from the amount of click-throughs that subscribe on Android, it's huge. It's amazing amount of traffic. So People that aren't, you know, making the ability for people to subscribe on their show via Android available are
they're missing out on some growth.
missing out and huge. Yeah. It could be 20-25% at this point.
Now, I mean, with the show that I do, I'm seeing about half of my listeners just consuming my show on Spreaker, and the other half downloading it off of other platforms.
Right.
Which makes sense. I mean, it's a
Spreaker show. Yeah.
It's a Spreaker focused show.
Yeah.
But it's split, and I see that a lot on the platform. And the platform kind of breaks out plays, which is more like plays through the web players and off of the Spreaker platform,
right?
From downloads, which typically goes into other platforms, and it's a split. And I see a lot of shows that are not balanced. They're mostly on their audience comes from Spreaker, so.
But are they even? But the question is, are they even promoting another platform?
Well, that's always the question you have to ask. Are they even in iTunes, or are they in the other podcast listening platforms?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of audio shows being produced that are not as focused on podcasting.
True.
They're just trying to build listens on social media and off of their own websites and those kind of things too. So we still have this kind of the splintering in the market between how people consume, and I think it has a lot to do with genre too. Certain genres of content tend to be, I guess, more easily listened to in mobile browsers. I mean, there's still a lot of users out there that still don't use a podcast catcher type of application.
Right. Well, we had I'll be careful here. Mike did a tech support call with a guy the other day. And he had an interesting setup. He was doing a show on Spreaker.
Oh, you know what? I saw this. Yeah. No, go ahead.
And you're going to have to help me. I was looking for, Mike had sent me a link on this, and I'm trying to find it right now. But essentially what he did was, he did a show on Spreaker, then he auto-published from your platform to somewhere else. And then he posted on Libsyn. So he went over, he bought a hosting account over Libsyn and published over there. And then it's like he had like
then
4
he
hosts.
Did something with you guys. With
he had so he could get
WordPress.
Yeah, so he could get our player. So he was like, he's publishing in like 4 locations and like paying for 4 hosting accounts. He's paying for Spreaker, paying for Libsyn, paying for us, and paying for 1 other people. I'm like, okay, bravo, thank you very much for. But,
thank you.
But
thank you.
I'm just going to be honest with you. There are better ways to do that, and you can syndicate through Spreaker, but you can still publish through Spreaker. You can syndicate through us, but you can't get the player unless you're a customer. It's just
and there's great reasons to be on Libsyn too.
So it's just
it could get you into Spotify or something.
I don't think Spotify's adding anybody right now. So
or iHeartRadio, right?
Yeah,
iHeartRadio. Yeah,
but it just kind of cracked me up. He was everywhere, and I was just. Okay, he really wants distribution, but he could have accomplished it a little. He could have done a little better, better way.
Yeah. He could have made his issues a little simpler.
Yeah,
but I mean, if you think about it, Spreaker and you guys and Libsyn, we all have our own platform listening apps.
Yeah.
And there is some advantage to being included in our listening apps. You can reach more audience that way too. I know that Libsyn has a listening app that's pretty decent, and you guys have one too, right? Or not?
Yeah, ours is a little long in the tooth.
Is it?
But, yeah, but but we're all about. We've got partners that provide apps for our podcasters. So we're not in the app business, but we've got a couple of partners that do.
But you
So,
do have a lot of listening in the browser capability. I mean, you have a big
well,
catalog of
well,
podcasts. Yeah.
yeah, well, we got, we're providing tools so that podcasters can add on whatever they need to add on,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And then we've, on the speaker side, we've put a lot of effort into our listening apps on Android and iOS, and we do actually, through me, kind of like what I did at Microsoft, add pass-through shows. So we do that.
Right.
So if you want to get on the Spreaker platform, you don't necessarily have to have a hosting account.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He could have syndicated over there, but I think he's actually recording the original version of the show on Spreaker,
Yeah.
and then doing all these other accounts. So
But to be included in that listing, that has to pass through me.
oh,
So it's just like what I did at Zune.
right,
Because it isn't a publicly available access to be a pass-through show.
right.
It's something that only is done through me, and I actually add shows on a weekly basis to that pass-through, because we want to have a complete catalog too, kind of like what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily want to encourage everybody to be on there because we do still want people to host with us.
Right.
So, but it's a delicate line that we're trying to walk,
Yeah. So the only requirement we have for folks to get on like a Roku app and stuff like that is they just have to tell us what their show's rated and give us a TV rating. That's the only thing.
Really? That's it?
Yeah, that's it. And you got to make sure album art's right. So we do an automated check, and then you have to say, yes, I'm PG-13 or MG or whatever rating level you actually are from a TV standpoint, and that's how you get in our Samsung and Roku and all the other OTT apps that we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's just it's very simple. It's a little form they fill out, takes 30 seconds. But and it's just automated. They automatically thrown up there. They don't even have to host with it. They just have to be on the platform. And basically, if you're not on the platform, you will be. If you're a brand new show on Blueberry, we'll pick you up within a week.
Mm-hmm.
There's not going to be a delay in getting picked up for the site, because basically we're adding brand new shows every week.
Todd, do you think that we're going to see anything new out of Apple around podcasting anytime soon? Because it seems like they've kind of stagnated. There's really nothing going on over there new.
I'm not sure. I think I had hopes with their Podcast Connect site that they were going to add some stuff. I actually thought that they might consider adding some metric stuff to those accounts, but if it is, it's not in this phase. It'll be in down the road. But again, I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see what they do. But it's just kind of been same old over there lately.
Yeah. Did you happen to notice the post on Facebook that Robert Scoble made
about the VR,
last couple of days?
About the virtual reality coming to iPhone 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
VR is
a clear phone too.
A clear phone? Oh, a clear screen phone?
Yep. That's what he was saying, is that the next iPhone 8 is going to be a chunk of plastic or glass, probably an unbreakable piece of glass, and then at the bottom of it will be where the actual phone processor is going to be at the bottom, like bottom third or the bottom quarter of the phone will be solid.
Huh.
But the whole upper part of the phone will be clear plastic or clear glass.
So why would they do it that way? Why would they do that?
My guess would be, chances are it probably would be, my guess would be that the upper part and the lower part would be solid, and the middle part of the phone, which is where the screen has been, normally in phones, would be clear.
You could see through it clear?
See through it, yeah. Because they need more room for the battery, and they need more room for processing.
So where would they put the battery? Is already a huge part of the back. The
I
battery in
don't
here is
know.
massive.
I
So
don't know. Don't know.
uh, I guess I'm
Uh,
confused.
yeah, see, I think it depends on how big the bevel is around this.
Yeah.
Um, if that's plausible, but I know that the technology exists. I saw on the reply thread below Robert's post, like a visual display at a tech conference that was showing the clear glass
Hmm.
um, display, and it looks very attractive. It's like 3-dimensional kind of experience. But we'll see. Definitely. And I was just, I'm constantly thinking about, what's the implications for podcasting when it comes to VR, AR, mixed reality? Is there any connection that the industry can tie in on those developments? Because if in fact the iPhone 8 heads in that direction, what is there any implications for podcasting, or audio just completely is out of the visual realm?
I think people that are doing stuff like we are, doing video and audio. If you have, and I've been, actually, this is a good topic. I've been doing a lot of soul searching over the past month on video and figuring out things I'm going to do at CES and a variety of different projects I'm doing, and primarily to up the video quality and increase the production enhancements and making it a little more fun to watch the videos. And it's hard. It's hard to do good video if you're not a film producer, and you're not someone that lives in this realm, doing cool stuff on video besides taking not necessarily a webcam, but whether it be a DSLR or whether it be an action camera.
Yeah.
It's hard to, and people don't normally live these big, exciting lives. So, they do have exciting things from time to time that it's cool to catch on video. But, yeah, I don't know. For certain podcasters, it may make a lot of sense. But, I'm thinking about VR. What could you do with VR here? Well, VR, I'd set a VR camera here, and you could see the whole studio. That's no fun. That's just like,
Yeah,
you know,
big deal, right?
yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
People can be voyeurs and look around in the nooks and crannies of my room, I guess. But it's gonna be pretty boring. They're gonna, one round through the room. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm done.
So
Yeah,
have you ever thought about? I know some podcasters will try and create like a much more, and Leo's done this. Leo Laporte's done this for a long time, creating much more visually appealing backgrounds
yeah,
and sets that they do their shows on.
yeah. I've considered making changes here, but I don't have a lot of room to work with. I'm in a 10 by 12 room. And
And
there's
you
only
have every inch of it occupied with something
yeah,
technology, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy thing to change. And then of course we got Reflection back there today, but those shelves have served me well. But they're shelves and they're full of stuff, and there's cabinets, there's stuff below and stuff on top. And if I put a flat screen TV back there, then what am I going to do for storage? I live in Hawaii. Storage is a premium. We don't. It just doesn't. People don't have like big sheds or garages that are non-attached. That doesn't exist here. So if I was back in the mainland, I'd just build a building. At this point, I'd put up a building. I'd put up a studio. But I don't live in the mainland, so that's not going to happen here. But the in a cost of a building, you believe it or not, you can build if you have the room on your property, and
Yeah.
it's not that bad to put up a building, from a
Yeah.
cost wise. But you got to be pretty committed to do that too.
I mean, so would you see yourself eventually doing something a little closer to like what Leo Laporte's doing?
Well,
Maybe.
I don't know, and it all depends on if I ever left Hawaii and moved somewhere where there was an opportunity. If I there's a few places I could move back to, and I'm thinking, or is there talent there to be able to do something like that? And I'd have to grow the talent, and that's a big risk. That's what Leo has had to done. He's had to build talent, and he's in a perfect location to be able to build it. He's just outside of San Francisco. So
Yeah.
location, 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 location. If I take this and go to Austin, well, yeah, maybe there's some huge opportunity there. But if I go to Florida, where my daughter's at, or if I go back to Michigan, which I just don't know if I see myself doing that. That's not necessarily the mecca of talent location either.
Yeah, I heard Leo say on this past week's Windows Weekly podcast that he sees the future of his Twit network really having a lot more to do with augmented and virtual reality topics going forward, because I guess he's following a lot what Robert Scoble is involved in, and he also sees a lot of possibilities around drones and the autonomous operations of all sorts of vehicles and airplanes and things like that is kind of the future of a lot of the technology talk that he's going to be covering in the future.
One thing that I am doing is the DJI just came out with a new drone called the Mavic, and it folds up small, easy to transport. My big problem with my drone now from DJI is that it's in a rolling case, so it doesn't have this portability that I need, and I can't have it with me. There's been oftentimes I've been somewhere, I'm like, damn, I wish I had my drone because I could do something. I could catch some cool video, right?
Yeah.
So I ordered the Mavic because I want to be able to have the drone in the car at all times. I want to be able to pull it out and catch something. So what I'm starting to think about more from my standpoint, I live here in Hawaii, and there's all kinds of beautiful stuff to look at and see and do, and so I'm going to start doing more just experimenting with content like that, but it's going to be on a pure experimental basis to see what I can do. I've been watching a lot of YouTubers and what they're doing and trying to get some tips from them, but I look at these pro YouTubers, it's a full-time job. They're doing 5, 6, 7 videos a week, and they're spending 3-4 hours a day editing what they've taken 8 hours to shoot, and they're getting rewarded huge, but they are
it's a full-time job.
It's a full-time job, and you have to be in a city or be in a location that gives you opportunity to have a lot of varied content, and if you're not in a location that doesn't have a lot of variable content, there's not a lot of opportunity to have a cool YouTube channel. So
yeah,
and I don't see myself becoming a YouTuber, but I want to be able to create some more cool stuff, just on the side.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, the cost basis for getting a pretty good quality drone is coming down. I mean, it's becoming very competitive.
$1,000, you're in there.
Yeah.
And being able to fly it and use it in some production and not crash it is a big thing too. So, and then staying within flight restrictions as well. And here in Hawaii, I've got airfields all over the place. So I have all types of flight restrictions because of the 5-mile rule. So I've actually thought about using my GI Bill to go get a pilot's license and then get a commercial drone license to be able to fly where I need to fly, wherever I want to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And not have
I didn't even know you could get a commercial drone license.
Yeah, it's very hard to get them. They're actually changed the rules. You don't actually have to be a pilot now, but you still got to put hours in, and you got to have the certain amount of gear, and it's a 2-man operation. It's not to do commercial. You can't solo fly. You have to have another person with you.
So is there still an opportunity out there for someone to go out and get a really nice drone and offer it as a almost like a video service to companies? And
you have to do commercial drone work. You have to actually be licensed by the FAA. So if you do commercial drone work without having a license, and it's publicly produced and put up on YouTube, and if they know you're doing this commercially, it's a big fine, big fine. So there's people doing it under the radar, of course, but And just got to go through the process and take the.
Like
You have to
like
take it.
getting videos of work sites and.
Well, if you're the owner of the work site and you're doing that, you're okay. But if you're doing it commercially for a work site, then that's a problem.
Oh, if you're doing it as a service?
Right, and don't have the FAA commercial drone license. And in Hawaii, there was only one person for a while that only had a commercial drone license here. So they're not
one person in the whole
state.
In all of Hawaii?
In the whole state,
Wow.
yeah. That was like a year ago. I'm sure it's changed, but.
So who did he have to pay off to get that?
No, he was a pilot, so he went and took the ground test, and then he applied and got it. So it's not hard to get. You just got to go through the process.
Oh,
You got to do
most people don't want to do
right,
it.
You got to do the government paperwork. Yeah. So my thing has been now is trying to just get the hours. You got to get the hours on a drone in order to be able to effectively
pass the
fly.
test?
Well, not even pass the test. It's not easy getting a good shot with a drone and not crashing the damn thing. So you got to fly it, and you just need hours on stick. That's just all it is. It's just like driving a car. You need practice.
Yeah.
You're not going to buy a drone and go out and shoot a pro video. You're going to need 4,000 or 5,000 hours on the stick to get used to, flying one-handed or whatever it may be. You got to get.
Yeah, and how many drones do you go through getting 5,000 or 6,000, right?
Well, to get 1,000, I've gotten 300-400 hours on a single drone, but it's been, I have to take the time, go out and do 2-3 flights, and it's stupid things like, okay, flying on the stick, flying a smooth circle, in a short area, just doing a 180 around a target. You think about doing a 180 around a house. If you're going to do real estate stuff, it sounds easy, but it's not as easy as if to get a nice smooth, where it would be like you'd have for a nice production video where there's
and it needs to be smooth. I mean,
right.
I'm sure that the camera has some capability to address motion and shaking and vibration.
Right. But if you're doing, you're making adjustments to the angle, and it's wobbling back and forth, you're not selling that.
It's not a very good viewing experience.
No. So it's just a matter of getting stick. And my son flies better than me. Of course, he's a PlayStation player, right? He's used to doing that. So and some will be
game console training, huh?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's just purely getting time on stick to be able to have stuff come out and look good. Simple. And how am I going to add that to content? I don't know. And there's one guy in New York who holds a DSLR on a Gorilla stand, or basically one of those Gorilla things, and then he holds a remote control, and he rides a boost board around New York and flies a damn drone at the same time. So this guy doing 5 million video views a day. So of course, Casey Neistat, amazing what he's doing on video. But if I got on a boost board and went driving down the road, the first thing it would be is calling 911, because I'd make it about a half a block and I'd have a broken neck. So.
Oh, Todd.
No, it's
you would be fine.
No, wheels underneath feet. So there's not a lot of people that can do that or coordinated enough to be able to do that kind of stuff. So this guy wrecks stuff all the time. He talks about busting up gear all the time. So you have to have a budget. You go out and you have a DSLR and you're doing video on a boost board and you crash and you smash your DSLR. Well, you need to go out and spend $1,500 on a new camera and lens. A lot of people can't afford to do that. So, yeah. Watch some of his videos, Casey Neistat. You'll find it on YouTube. You want to see what it's? I just think he's incredible. The stuff he's doing from videos. He's hooked me. I watch his videos every day.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 million followers on YouTube. So, but he spends 20 hours a day working. He has no life. He's got a YouTube life. And podcasting, we don't have to do that. What do? We sit down and, today, what did I do? I overslept. I woke up at 6:20. And I jumped in the shower and turned the studio on, and you and I fired up. I had done no prep work, and maybe it shows in the show today. And off we go. So is this going to get 5 million YouTube video views? No, but the audience that's here understands sometimes shit happens, and they're with us.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, did you see the news that's come out on Media Matters for America, talking about how CNN is hiring and paying a bunch of full-time pundits to come in there and defend Donald Trump?
To defend Donald Trump?
Yeah.
They're paying pundits to defend Donald Trump.
On air.
Probably what happened is that they probably started losing market share because they were like the Clinton News Network. So, let's be honest, they are. So they had to have some balanced opinions.
Well, no, what it's creating though, Todd, if you go, there's a video up here.
Oh, really?
It's just creating these scream matches on the TV between people that are for Clinton and people that are on there from representing Trump. But they're actually, both sides are being paid to be pundits on both sides on air, and the Trump organization has nothing to do with it.
That's funny.
So all they're doing is creating this false fighting.
It's entertainment TV. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just trashing our democracy. It's bad for everybody to create this constant negativity and fighting and arguing on the.
Well, if you haven't figured it out, Rob, if you haven't figured it out, news has been biased for a very, very long time. It's not news; it's entertainment.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what this is. It's building ratings based on creating controversy and fights on air. I guess people are attracted to that. It's kind of like people like to chase train wrecks too.
I have been in a news blackout for 60 days. I'm not watching any of it. And anyone that's talking politics on Facebook, I say hide this article. I'm not reading it.
Yeah.
I just I don't need the drama. It's what's going to happen is going to happen, and it's just a sorry, sad ass state of affairs that in the country that we're in, that we have two absolutely horrendous candidates. Absolutely horrendous. Both are absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
It's sad that we can't come up with some sort of person. Here's the deal. And I don't want to get into politics, but you have to start planning to be president when you are in the womb. Well, let's be true.
So is it going to create a whole generation of youngsters that are going to be born, and their parents are going to say, "Now you might be president one day. You better watch your P's and Q's. You can't be
I don't know, but you can't have had a normal life, and everyone makes mistakes in life. You've got two individuals that have both made huge mistakes. Huge. I mean, incredible. And then, but you cannot have made a mistake. Otherwise, you're going to get run over by a train. It's there's not. So you have to plan. Or maybe the American public doesn't care. Maybe it's just entertainment to them. Ha, ha, ha. You got something on you. Ha, ha. I got something on you.
Well, there's been a lot of talk that I've heard from people talking about, one way to help this problem is to just get rid of the parties. Because people tend to align on these lines. Why not just have an election that's based on individuals? Just have the best individuals. Why does there have to be party affiliations?
Money. You see how much money it takes for some of these? You look, they're spending billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So, it's, to me, it's just.
And then others are getting billions of dollars worth of media coverage too.
I've got a simple solution: fire them all. You just don't vote for incumbents. It is just don't vote for. Get rid of all of them. I mean, all of them. Get rid of. Don't. It doesn't matter if you got a senator you love. Vote for the incumbent. It doesn't matter who it is. I'm not the incumbent. Vote for the. No. Yeah, vote
The
for
unincumbent.
the
Yeah.
unincumbent. Right.
I don't think that's the right word for it,
Yeah,
but
you do a
it's
complete if you clean the house, if you get rid of or term limits, put term limits in, and then we solve it. You
yeah.
know, you put like
Yeah,
12
but
years for a senator and like whatever. Put 12 and 12. That's it. That's it. You're done. No more.
yeah. Yeah. I know we kind of digressed here, didn't
Yeah,
we,
we
in the
have.
last part?
We went
Yeah.
politics, but yeah, that's why that's because I get pissed off. That's why I've been watching the news. I just stay away from it.
Yeah. It it is a sad state of affairs, and the media is just taking advantage of the American people right now.
Oh, it's horrible. That's
It's like this
low
whole
information. Go ahead.
yeah, exactly. This whole CNN is just an example of what I'm talking about. It like you said, it's all being done for entertainment purposes, but the problem is that it's very destructive.
Low
Uh,
information voter, people that don't have a clue. It's like that man on the street when you ask them who was ask them the basic questions, and they're like, I don't know. So they're the
yeah,
ones that are,
yeah. But
but,
anyway, hey, are you? Uh, where's your next podcast event that you're going to attend?
Podfest in Florida.
Oh, okay. That's
Yep.
in February. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be down there as well.
So I'll go to that. They're hard to get a hold of down there. They don't have a good communication system. I don't even, you send an email and it's like 2 weeks later you get a response. I don't understand what's
So have
going
you
on.
talked to Chris down there, the guy that's running it?
Does he answer his email? No, he hasn't
Yeah,
responded.
yeah, I
So,
did a call with him last week. So
he's actually, well, that's okay. Well, maybe Chris, if you're listening, I'd like to talk to you about the event.
okay,
Um, so as of right now, I'm not speaking or anything. So we're sponsoring, but that not necessarily means we're speaking. That's not how that works. But um, yeah, I'm going, so we'll be there.
yeah, I'm gonna be moderating a panel down there on local podcasting.
Yeah, local podcasting, is that actually a thing? Is there anything happening in that space right now?
Yeah, there's some movement there. I think it's still early though, but it's a topic that he wants to cover, and so
Yeah,
I'll be happy. I've been involved in a few panels over the last couple of years that have talked about local based podcasts and what the future might be for that.
right. Well, I think that's the next event, and who
Oh,
knows?
there's DC Podfest that's coming up.
Yeah, what is that? The date on
I
that?
think it's the end of this month.
Yeah, I went to that last year,
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
and there was about 100 people, maybe. I think
Yeah,
max at the event. So it's a small regional event, pretty good.
it is. It is small. Yeah.
But they
Yeah, I'm
did a
not
nice job.
going to it, but we're doing some live streaming for them.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, so some of the sessions are going to be streamed live on Spreaker.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, I'm trying to do that with, more and more of the events, just have them at least stream a few sessions or something like
Yeah,
that, create a little
little
access
buzz.
outside of the actual event, especially if they're small regional events.
Yeah, these small
Um,
regional events, there's no reason why they can't stream on Facebook or something like. I don't understand why they don't do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Some do. I mean, the Mid Atlantic podcast conference that I went to streamed live on Spreaker, the whole thing, and then
but
also
they
use
didn't advertise it. I didn't even know that they were streaming live. So they should have sent out a mailing saying, "Hey, we're streaming
yeah,
live."
yeah, yeah.
So
You're right.
make sure when you talk to those folks that they're promoting that, Rob, because if I'd have known, I'd have watched.
Yeah, it was on his homepage of the
Uh,
site, but
oh,
but yeah, I mean, unless you don't know that they're actually doing it,
yeah. Huh.
yeah.
That's cool.
So, I'm trying to do that with all these events that are willing to do it.
Right.
Take a few of the sessions. As it turned out, we streamed live the whole Mid Atlantic podcast conference, so the whole thing. So I don't think that many people tune into it, but it's just it's an access thing.
Right.
People will come in and check out for a little bit, and it's not like you get people listening all day long.
Right. One thing I did when I picked up my rental car last Sunday, it was pre-tuned to an NPR station, and I never listened to NPR. Matter of fact, I usually just automatically switch the channel.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I'm not usually, NPR is actually another department of the DNC. So I typically don't. It's true. It's primarily what it is. So I don't necessarily listen to public radio just because it's sometimes too much politics stuff on there. And but they were Radiotopia was on. Have you listened to Radiotopia before?
No, I haven't actually. I haven't actually listened to it.
I shouldn't even promote this. It was really good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was really good. I'll confess, it was a really good show, and they were on for an hour, and the story they told was really good. I think, and so I'm just I guess confession time here. If you're looking to improve your storytelling skills, you better listen to that show.
Really?
Yeah, really, and I understand why they have a big audience. Just the production was incredible. But again, just like This American Life, another big, huge production team. Yeah. But very compelling, the stuff that they were talking about. So I understand why that show is as big as it is. So if you haven't listened to Radiotopia before, it's probably a good show to tune into from a podcaster.
Todd, that's the answer for you, Todd. You just need a big team.
Well, I'm not
for your show. For your show, you just need to get a big team. Get okay. Like 18 co-producers, and it's going to make all the difference.
No, I don't think so. I think it also the people they have on that show has a very dynamic voice. Got a good radio voice. They got It's true though. They have a huge production team, so that helps for sure. But the average content creator can't. I can't afford
that.
I can't afford to sit here after this show and edit for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
There would be no show. So you have to weigh that, and it would be no more fun. If I could hand this off and have the budget like they do, sure, then why not, right? But
sure.
the majority of the podcasters out there don't have a budget to do that. I know some people are spending a lot of money doing production at this point. But the question is, how much is it increasing their show audience? Are they getting?
Yeah, is it really worth it? Right.
Yeah, are they getting from 5,000 to 50,000 or 100,000 or 200? If the production of their show, they pay for the show and they say this, this meteoric increase in listeners, then you're getting your money's worth. But if you're just inching along, is it really, is your money well spent? I don't know. I don't think so.
Probably not for most shows. It's not really necessary to have a big team.
Yeah, and I had to actually laugh a little bit. There was a guy on Facebook that said, "I'm listening to a bunch of your shows, and your shows sound like shit." And I was like, "Whoa, that was interesting." Someone coming in and not blowing smoke. He was saying, "I was listening to your shows, I could barely listen." And there are a lot of podcasts out there that I listen to that are like 3 minutes in. I'm like, I fast forward, I go to the next show, because the audio, there's something to be said about working on your audio pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get complaints on this show about our audio, so I guess we're doing the right thing.
Well, I think we both are aware of the tools that will produce some pretty good audio. So there's a lot of folks that don't understand, what tools to use and what not to use.
But as I've often said too, I invested in a pipeline that allowed me to have good audio going in, and I didn't have to do a bunch of tweaking to it post.
Yeah.
Skype is obviously the limiting factor here, but we typically end up with pretty good Skype video audio.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I hear a lot of people complaining about Skype and how bad it is and stuff, and I just don't have a lot of example or experience with Skype being a problem.
No, once in a while we'll have like a guest that comes on that's in a hotel or something has problems, or like next week I'll be at my mom's and who knows what's going to happen there because her internet sucks. So I'll probably use my MiFi there and use Verizon and be able to do the show. But we'll probably have to figure a way to do the show next week on audio only, seeing that all these video platforms are now restricting the number of folks it can be on. We'll have to use your platform.
Yeah, we can use Speaker Studio for desktop.
Yeah.
Because it works with Skype.
Yeah.
So we can certainly do that and just get the audio. But the only problem with that is that we're missing probably half of our viewers.
Yeah.
Right, or half of our audience. Because so what percentage do you know offhand? What percentage are watching the video?
I think it's run about 65-35, 65 audio, 35% video. That's
still pretty darn high on the video side.
Yeah, but I think what they do is I'm sure most people just start playing. They don't even watch it. Why would you watch? We're just you and I on the screen. The same thing with my regular shows too. That they, it runs, about the same percentage. I don't know how many folks are actually watching all the way through. If you're watching all the way through, let us know. We'll get some dancing girls or something in here in the background you can watch.
Yeah, I'll start wearing costumes and things like that.
And
Halloween is coming.
Yeah. I haven't done a Halloween thing in many, many years. I haven't dressed up for Halloween. We haven't went to Halloween parties. It's just not a big thing here in Hawaii. So I see everyone getting all prepped for it. They're showing their costumes off, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just not a big Halloween guy, I guess. Do you get dressed up for Halloween, Rob?
No. This is my costume.
That's scary.
Boo.
Hey, I have to talk about my haircut. So my wife has been teasing me for years because I'm getting pretty thin up here on top. And
well, you and I both. Yeah.
So, but you've got at least a little bit more on top than I do, and I started, my hair is so thin it would fly around like crazy, and typically to keep it from moving, you have to use a little gel to keep it stick, and it looked like a barcode, literally, like across the top of my head.
Just scan the top.
Yeah, scan the top of my head, right?
We can find out who he is.
Yeah. So
it could probably be done by satellite. They can
probably
identify you.
So I went to the barber shop and I told the lady, I said, just in military terms, when we go to get a haircut, a 0 is skin, and then the actual clipper there's 0 to 10. So depending on how thick you want it. So I said, put me 0 on the side and 2 on top, and that would make it very, very short. And she started cutting. She says, "Oh no, we can't do 2 on top." And I said, "Why?" I said, "No, we can't." She said, "I can't do 2." So so anyway, I don't have a barcode no more, but I'm like a Holstein cow now. I have spotches of blank spots on the top of my head. So yeah, it won't be too long. I'll be like my grandfather on my mom's side, and I'll have a landing strip. But it sucks getting when you're losing your hair.
Yeah. Well, you can always get a hair transplant, Todd.
No, I'm not spending $10,000 for plugs.
You're not going to get plugged.
No.
It's just like growing grass. Just throw some seeds around.
Yeah. But that's the thing about podcasting too, is if we didn't do video, no one would care, right? If we just did audio, they have no idea what you really look like.
That's true.
Yeah. So at some point you become less camera worthy.
But ultimately you would be seen, at some point. You can't hide forever.
That's true.
Yeah. But, if you go to a conference and get up on stage, or it's just, both of us do that stuff a lot. So
yeah. But anyway,
it's good. It's good.
Anyway, it's fun to tease. Talk about being on camera. I think a lot of times too, people you look at the news networks. They got all these hot women and good-looking guys that are all, they don't have anybody ugly on TV. That's the thing. So you have to have a face. And I think the same thing goes with YouTube. I think sometimes, looks, it's superficial, but looks count a lot. But that's a good thing about podcasting is you don't have to, worry about competing with, you can be the ugliest or let's not use the right. That's probably not the right political correct word to use. So you can be challenged in the looks department and not matter.
Or less than fully appealing.
Right,
Yes.
right, right.
Yeah. Well, you either got it or you don't, right? There's
That's
nothing. I mean, I suppose you can go in and change it if you can find a good cosmetic surgeon. You
yeah.
can, if you're that committed to being
Well,
on video.
but it brings up a better conversation. People over 50 are now finding that's this job discrimination thing. So a lot of people over 50 now are doing that just to be able to look younger in the tech, especially in the tech side, to be able to be look like you fit in with a 30-year-old, so that you're not considered for a job.
Yeah, I suppose that's true to some degree. I would think
It's
that
happening a lot.
They do look at your actual age, though.
All right, yeah, they'll look at your when did you graduate from college, and then they add. It's not, you're not allowed to ask someone how old they are, but it can be easily deduced. A lot of people now are putting only work history for like the last 10 years. They don't even put work history beyond that, just to try to keep.
And I think that's probably smart, just generally, because most employers don't care much beyond the
right.
5-10 year window anyway.
Yeah.
It's what your most recent experience is all that they're really concerned about.
Yeah. But
to some degree, what was your last job?
Yeah.
Not well, your current job and your last job. That's really all that they really are concerned about.
Yeah. So those of you that are young, you're under 50, your clock is ticking.
Yeah.
And remember that when you're hiring people, because you're going to be that guy or gal someday.
Well, it's going to be tough for you to get a really good job too, because you don't have the probably in a lot of ways you don't have that really great prior job.
Well, I think too, people have to be smart and keep up their skills. They have to, go back to school and keep current on, what's going on right now, and stay viable. But I don't think a lot of people do that. Okay.
All right. Well, I think we've wrapped it up.
Yeah, we did. We pushed the content topics today too. So hope you were okay with us just chatting, folks. But we're going to be, because of me, we will be definitely doing Sunday shows here for the next couple of weeks while I'm jetting around. But if you're in the Columbus, Cincinnati area, there is a podcaster meetup on the Tuesday the 25th. And it's at our building where our offices are at with Raw Voice. And if you want to attend and come out for the it's a monthly thing. It's planned, so it's already on the calendar. And there's a lot of people that normally come. So Mike Dell will also be down in the Columbus office as well. So if you want to come out Tuesday the 25th, drop me an email. Either just geeknews@gmail.com, and I'll give you the details. But if you want to come in, if you're within striking distance, come in. We're going to, again, in the evening after work, have a meetup, and feel free to ping me, and if you want to come down and hang out. We'll have pizza and stuff. We'll have food for everybody to eat, snacks. All right, Rob, I guess this is it. Right. Anything else for you?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
It's a good show. We talked about a lot of good stuff, I think.
Yeah. It's exciting to see what this American Life stuff does. So we'll keep an eye on that. See how much is getting shared. I'm going to be watching their hashtag if they've got one assigned to this, and see how much it's being used. But you can send email to Todd@newmediashow.com, or you can follow me on Twitter @GeekNews. Rob?
You can send me an email, rob@Spreaker.com or rob@robgreenlee.com, whatever you want to use. And I can be found on Twitter @RobGreenlee, and that's with 2 E's, and robgreenlee.com. So
everyone, thanks for being here. We'll see you next time here on the New Media Show at newmediashow.com. Everyone, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.